كفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين. صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. آج جو احادیث پڑھنی ہے اس سے پہلے چند مختلف موضوعات. ایک تو یہ کہ جو مختلف قوموں کے اور مختلف مذاہب کے تہوار وغیرہ آتے رہتے ہیں، تو اس پہ ہمارا معاملہ، ہمارا طریقہ کیا ہونا چاہیے، اس کے بارے میں تھوڑی سی وضاحت کرنی. ہر سال کرسمس کے موقع پر، تھینکس گیونگ، ہالووین، اسی طرح دیوالی، ہولی وغیرہ، اس کے متعلق لوگ پوچھتے ہیں. تو اس بارے میں ایک اصول یاد رکھ لیجئے کہ حضور اکرم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے یہ فرمایا ہے کہ جو جس قوم کا تشبہ اختیار کرے وہ انہی میں سے ہے. اسی طرح جو جس قوم سے محبت رکھے وہ انہی کے ساتھ اس کا حشر ہوگا. تو تشبہ، ایک چیز ہے تشبہ، وہ یہ ہے کہ دلی رغبت، دلی محبت، دلی عزت کے ساتھ کسی قوم کے کسی رسم و رواج کو، کسی طریقے کو اپنانا، اور اس طرح کہ اس میں نیت یہ ہو کہ ہم ان کے جیسے لگیں، ہم میں اور ان میں فرق پتہ نہ چلے کیونکہ وہ ایسا کرتے ہیں اس لیے بھی ہم یہ کریں گے. یہ ہوتا ہے تشبہ. اور ایک ہے مشابہت، یعنی سملیرٹی ہو جانا. مثال کے طور پہ سردی میں ہم بھی گرم پاجامہ پہن رہے ہیں، وہ بھی گرم پاجامہ پہن رہے ہیں، یا یہودی بھی سر ڈھکتے ہیں، ہم بھی سر ڈھکتے ہیں. اس کا انداز مختلف ہے لیکن ایک درجے مشابہت ہے. اسی طرح بہت سے معاملات میں اور بھی کہ بھائی ہم بھی گاڑی چلاتے ہیں، وہ بھی گاڑی چلاتے ہیں، ہم بھی فریج وغیرہ اس قسم کی چیزوں کو استعمال کرتے ہیں، وہ بھی استعمال کرتے ہیں. تو ایک چیز ہوتی ہے مشابہت، یعنی سملیرٹی ہو جانا، اور ایک چیز ہوتی ہے تشبہ، دلی محبت، عزت، قدر کے ساتھ ان کی چیز کو اختیار کرنا، اور اس میں پیچھے نیت یہ ہو کہ ہم ان کے جیسے لگیں، ہم ان کے جیسے بنیں. تو تشبہ تو حرام ہے، یعنی یہ چیز کہ محبت کے ساتھ ان کی چیز کو اپنایا جائے. مثال کے طور پہ عیسائی جو ہیں وہ، ان کے پادری وغیرہ، وہ صلیب لٹکاتے ہیں گلے میں، یا خاص ان کا ڈریس جو ہوتا ہے وہ پہننا، یا اسی طرح یہودیوں کے جو ڈریس ہوتے ہیں وہ، یا خاص اس طرح کی ٹوپی پہننا. تو یہ سب چیزیں تو حرام ہیں جو ان کے مذہبی شعائر ہیں. باقی جہاں کہیں اگر سملیرٹی بغیر کسی ایسی خاص نیت کے ہو جائے تو اس کی اسلام میں گنجائش ہے، اجازت ہے. ہاں بس میں کوشش تو یہ کرنی چاہیے کہ وہ بھی نہ ہو، مشابہت بھی نہ ہو، ان کے ہر طریقے سے بچا جائے. کیونکہ ہم سب نے یہ حدیث سنی ہوئی ہے کہ حضور اکرم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم جب مدینہ شریف تشریف لائے تھے تو جب یہ معلوم ہوا کہ یہود جو ہیں وہ بھی 10 محرم کا روزہ رکھتے ہیں، تو حضور اکرم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے فرمایا کہ اگلے سال اگر میں زندہ رہا تو میں 9 اور 10 دونوں کا روزہ رکھوں گا، یا 10 اور 11 کا روزہ رکھوں گا. یعنی عبادات کے معاملے میں بھی ظاہر ہے کہ حضور اکرم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم کی ذات پہ کون اس بات کا شبہ کر سکتا ہے کہ وہ اللہ کے نبی خدا نخواستہ یہود کی طرح ہونا چاہتے ہیں، اسے تشبہ اختیار کر رہے تھے. لیکن یہاں مشابہت کو بھی حضور اکرم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے پوری کوشش کری کہ وہ ہم اختیار نہ کریں. تو بہرحال مشابہت بھی اچھی چیز نہیں ہے، اس سے بچنا چاہیے پوری کوشش کر کے. لیکن جو حرام کے درجے میں ہے وہ تشبہ ہے. مثال کے طور پہ ہم کرسمس کو باقاعدہ سیلیبریٹ کرنے لگیں کہ خاص مذہبی تہوار ہے، یا مسلمان خدا نخواستہ ہولی یا دیوالی وغیرہ جو ان کے، مجھے نہیں معلوم، اس کی تحقیق کر سکتے ہیں آپ، جو خاص مذہبی تہوار ہے اس میں شامل ہونے لگیں تو وہ تو حرام ہے. لیکن باقی اگر کہیں مشابہت ہو جائے تو اس کی گنجائش ہے، اجازت ہے، اچھی چیز نہیں ہے. I'll repeat this first point in English inshallah, that every year I am asked this question, that the kuffar, the people who do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they have their different occasions. For example, we just had Thanksgiving. Today the day is called Black Friday. We'll come to that inshallah. Then there is Christmas, Easter, Halloween, all of those things. Living in India, or people who are, who interact with Indian or Hindu people, they talk about their Diwali or Holi. They are constantly asking this question, that how much can we interact? So remember, the first principle is that to assume their ways, their celebrations, their styles, which are their characteristic religious styles, number one. Number two, we do that trying to be like them with the intention that we should look like them, and we have a love or respect for their certain ways, and that's why we are assuming those ways, then that is haram. That's called tashabbuh. The Prophet ﷺ has said that whoever does tashabbuh with any nation, then they will be with them. And another hadith, the Prophet ﷺ has said that whoever loves those people, or al-mar'u ma'a man ahabba, a person would be with those that he loves. So tashabbuh with respect and love is haram. But there's another thing which is mushabahat, or similarity, that we do something not with a particular intention, but it is similar. For example, some very neutral examples are driving a car, using a refrigerator, or even in clothing, we wear something that the non-Muslims also wear, but in our heart we don't intend to be like them, but it's a similarity. So that kind of similarity, although despised, is still permissible. It's not in the level of haram. The Prophet ﷺ, when he moved to Medina, he learned, because before Ramadan was given, the fasting of the whole month of Ramadan was given, it was farz to fast on the 10th day of Muharram. Then this 10th day of Muharram was replaced with the whole month of Ramadan. So Muslims used to fast, still considered it, after even coming to Medina when Ramadan was given, Muslims still considered this day, and still today consider a very respectable day, the 10th of Muharram. But the Prophet ﷺ was told that the Yahud, the Jewish people, they also fast on this day. So the Prophet ﷺ said that if I am alive next year, I will go against the Yahud and add a day before or a day after this 10th of Muharram, so I'll fast for 2 days. So even in ibadat, even in worship, similarity is something that the Prophet ﷺ wants to go against. Of course, who can, na'uzu billah, doubt the Prophet ﷺ, that the Prophet ﷺ was, na'uzu billah, had any chance of tashabbuh or trying to be like the Yahud, na'uzu billah, hashahu wa kallah. But in fact, the tiniest similarity, the Prophet ﷺ, the ideal way is that he wants to go against it, or makes his distinction clear with all other nations. But still, it is permissible, it is not haram if somebody does not do it with that specific intention that I want to look like them. Now the second thing is that in celebrations, there is two kinds of celebrations or festivals. One that are religious. For example, very clear example is Christmas. Christmas is something that the Christian people have a well-known religious background behind it, although it has been commercialized and it has come very far from what it used to be originally, and a lot of Christian priests are not very happy with what is going on Christmas as well, and they also say that, it has been so widely commercialized and the true spirit has been lost somewhere or whatever. But still, everybody knows, everybody agrees that the background is there, and it is a religious background. Then there is some other examples which are not necessarily religious. For example, the 4th of July. It is the Independence Day of this country, and people celebrate it, and it is something more of a national thing rather than religious thing. So now when this distinction has been made, and it is clear that the day that we are celebrating does not have anything to do with any other religion, then it is perfectly okay to celebrate that day. Then it is allowed and permissible to celebrate that day, as long as we do not do in those celebrations anything that is against our religion or prohibited by the Sharia of the Prophet ﷺ. But when it comes to religious celebration, then we should definitely stay away from it. Even when somebody celebrates, the question that I get a lot of times is that my Indian friends, when Eid comes, they say to me Eid Mubarak. They say Happy Eid to me. And they are such broad-minded, such open-minded people. Now they expect me to wish them Happy Holi and Happy Diwali and that kind of stuff. So remember, somebody who deals in rubbish and trash, if they get to lay their hands on something good, that does not make them important. If somebody constantly deals in diamonds, they will not deal in trash. You understand what I'm saying? The deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the true deen is Islam. We will not give it up. They want to give up their ways, or they want to assume everything, or they want to be fluid about something, it's their choice. People here in this country, they are very fluid about almost everything. So we will not be fluid, especially in the matters of deen. We have our priorities straight. So they can celebrate or wish us as much as they like, and may Allah give everyone good guidance, but we will not descend to involve ourselves in the things of shirk, in the things of associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or anything that comes close to it. So we will stay away from saying Merry Christmas, or we will stay away from wishing them on their religious holidays or their religious festivals. One way that people can do, and people have suggested, is that we wish them in a neutral manner. It is an occasion of happiness and celebration for you, so yes, happiness be to you, or something like that, or happy holidays, something like that is fine. But don't, if it's a religious festival, if it's a religious day, don't wish them in their specific religious terms. Similarly, if there is a gathering which is related to their religious celebration, then Muslims cannot be a part of it. Muslims cannot go there. If it's a general national thing or something not related to religion, and there is nothing which is happening which is against our religion there, then we can become a part of that, and we can go with the intention that inshallah with our going, their hearts might come close to us, and then we can inshallah use that opportunity to invite them towards the right path. Inshallah, I'll repeat this in Urdu now, कि त्योहारों में जो सेलिब्रेशन के दिन होते हैं उसमें भी दो किस्म के होते हैं. एक तो ये जो ख़ास मजहबी त्यौहार हैं, और एक जो है जो कौमी है, उसका मज़हब से ताल्लुक़ नहीं है. मिसाल के तौर पे यौम आज़ादी है, उनका इंडिपेंडेंस डे है वगैरह. तो जो ख़ास मजहबी त्यौहार हैं उन पे तो मुसलमान सेलिब्रेट नहीं करेंगे, और उसके बारे में मुसलमान जो विशेज़ हैं उनको कि मैरी क्रिसमस कह देना या हैप्पी होली दिवाली वगैरह कह देना, वो भी सही नहीं है, उसकी इजाज़त नहीं है, उसकी गुंजाइश नहीं है, क्योंकि अगर वो ख़ास उनका मजहबी त्यौहार है. अगर मजहबी त्यौहार नहीं है तो फिर उसमें विश किया जा सकता है. और ये बात कि भाई वो भी तो हम ईद मुबारक कह देते हैं, या वो भी तो हमारी ईद की खुशियों में शरीक हो जाते हैं, तो वो इतने ब्रॉड माइंडेड हैं और हम क्यों फिर इस तरह की तंग नज़री का सबूत दें. तो उसका सीधी सी बात यह है कि जिसके पास अच्छी चीज़ होती है वो फिर बुरी चीज़ की तरफ नहीं जाता. जिसके पास बुरी चीज़ हो वो अच्छी चीज़ की तरफ आ जाए तो उसमें कोई ऐसे ताज्जुब की बात नहीं है. जो करता ही गोबर का और फुजले का कारोबार हो, उसको अगर कोई हीरा कहीं पड़ा हुआ मिल जाए, उसको हीरे को हाथ लगाने को मिल जाए, तो ये उसके लिए सादत की बात है. जो करता हीरो का काम है तो वो थोड़ी भी गंद बला उसमें गलत चीज़ों में पड़ेगा. तो बहरहाल अल्लाह ताला ने जब हमको साफ़ सुथरा दीन दे दिया और हमको इससे इज़्ज़त दे दी, तो फिर हमारे लिए मुनासिब नहीं है कि हम इस किस्म की मुशरिकाना या दीगर मजहबी त्यौहारों तक अपने आप को गिराएं, बल्कि उसमें एक न्यूट्रल तरीके से उनको अगर खुशी का पैगाम देना हो कि वो सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हो, बाकायदा ऐसी सिचुएशन आ जाए कि जिसमें हम बच नहीं सकते, तो फिर न्यूट्रल तरीके से उनको बग़ैर कोई मजहबी इंदिया दिए हुए उनको खुशी उनको मुबारक कर दिया कि चलो तुम खुश हो आज. तो ये बात तो इस हद किसकी तो गुंजाइश है, लेकिन ख़ास मजहबी लफ्ज़ों में उसकी कोई तहनीक देना या तहनीत देना वो मुनासिब नहीं है, उसकी मुबारकबाद देना. अल्लाह ताला महफूज फरमाए. अब नाउ कमिंग टू दिस थैंक्स गिविंग एंड ब्लैक फ्राइडे, देयर इज़ डिफरेंट व्यूज़ ऑफ पीपल. The most prevalent view is that Thanksgiving was celebrated by the pilgrims, celebrated a peace where they had food together with the locals, the Native Americans, and they had a feast. But then this does not with authenticity go back to that feast as well, but it has been later on, because of such commercialization, this has become something that the companies and the stores and everything, they want us to celebrate so that we spend and they become rich. So number one, even if we connect it to that feast that took place, still that was not necessarily a religious thing. But when it was established as a day, it was said that it will be a day of public thanksgiving and prayer. This is how it started. There will be a day of public thanksgiving and prayer, which is sort of it does have some religious smell to it. So therefore, and for Muslims, every single day is Thanksgiving for us. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for every single morsel, every single piece of food that we get. So we don't restrict ourselves, we don't really affiliate ourselves with it. But if somebody says Happy Thanksgiving to us, we can also return the greeting by saying that yeah, Happy Thanksgiving to us, because we know that it's not really truly absolutely hardcore Christian or any other religion thing. Then comes the Black Friday, and again the history is kind of mixed about it. In high school we learned that this is a purely economic term, that the stores have been, back in the day they used to mention losses with red ink, and when profits started, they started to use the black ink for their accounts. So all year, from the beginning, from January 1st up to this day, this time of the year, all their accounts were in red basically, stores and finances and all those. But then this was the first day when they would actually start earning profit, and from here to up to the end of the year, all that they would sell, that would be profit. And that is why they start doing those deals, that whatever they sell, whatever they are selling, it's basically profit for them. They have made up all the their expenses have been recovered for the whole year by this time. So that is one history. Another history, different histories, people have mentioned that on this day somebody, two of the key investors, they raised the gold price so much that the market crashed, and that's why they called it Black Friday. Some people connect it to some chaos, that there is so much chaos after Thanksgiving, people rush to the store or celebration or whatever, so it becomes a chaos or a nuisance for the law enforcement agencies, so they named it Black Friday. So whatever it is, again, I'm almost certain that this does not have, again, a religious background. But the thing is that in Islam, Friday is a very sacred day. Jumu'ah, the Yawmul Jumu'ah, it's a very sacred, very valued, very respectable day. So it does not feel right. Something, we don't have any technical yes or no about this, but it just does not feel right that we use the word black with Friday. So unless needed, we try our best to avoid this. Anyway, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all the challenges, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make the practice of deen easy for us. We'll read some hadith today inshallah, and then conclude. عن فاطمة بنت قيس قالت قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إن في المال لحقا سوى الزكاة ثم تلا أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ليس البر أن تولوا وجوهكم قبل المشرق والمغرب ولكن البر من آمن بالله واليوم الآخر والملائكة والكتاب والنبيين وآتى المال على حبه ذوي القربى واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل والسائلين وفي الرقاب وأقام الصلاة وآتى الزكاة. حضرت سیدہ فاطمہ بنت قیس رضی اللہ عنہا سے روایت ہے کہ رسول اکرم صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے ارشاد فرمایا کہ مال میں زکوٰۃ کے علاوہ بھی اللہ تعالیٰ کا حق ہے. اور پھر آپ صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم نے یہ آیت تلاوت فرمائی سورہ بقرہ کی لیس البر ان تولوا وجوہکم، جس کا انشاءاللہ ترجمہ میں پیش کرتا ہوں. Narrated by Sayyidah Fatima bint Qais radiallahu anha, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that in wealth there is the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even apart from or above and beyond zakat. So far, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited one ayah of the Surah Baqarah 177. So far we have been reading hadith about the mandatory charity, which is two. One is Zakatul Fitr, which is supposed to be given before the Eid Salah, and the other is Zakatul Mal, which is supposed to be given up if we have enough wealth of nisab once a year, upon passing of 1 year. But nobody should think that when we have given zakat, then that is the only thing, the only charity or the only spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is required of us. There is certain conditions in which spending becomes mandatory although you may have already given your zakat. For example, there is a traveler in your community. They have come and you know that they are not able to feed themselves. Then it becomes mandatory upon that community on the whole to take care of such a person. So that, and then there is other examples that even after zakat has been paid, it is still necessary. This is also a right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Muslims take care of the need of such a person. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam read this ayah, لَيْسَ الْبِرَّ أَن تُوَلُّوا وُجُوهَكُمْ قِبَلَ الْمَشْرِقِ وَالْمَغْرِبِ. The background of this ayah is different and it's not directly relevant here. The thing that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that relates to this hadith is that the real virtue, असल नेकी की राह वो है कि अल्लाह पर ईमान लाए और आखिरत के दिन पर और फ़रिश्तों पर और अल्लाह की किताबों पर और उसके नबियों पर, और माल की मोहब्बत के बावजूद उसको ख़र्च करे क़राबतदारों पर, यतीमों पर, मिस्कीनों पर, मुसाफिरों पर, साइलों पर और ग़ुलामों को आज़ादी दिलाने में, और अच्छी तरह कायम करे ज़कात करी उन्होंने ज़कात और नमाज और अदा की ज़कात. So the part of the ayah that relates to this particular background is that spend, the virtuous path is not that you face Mashriq or Maghrib, but the background of this ayah is that the people of Makkah, they were making fun of Muslims that their Qibla has changed. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling them that the direction is not important. The direction, whatever Allah gives, that is the direction. This direction or that direction, whichever direction Allah wants to make sacred, that is sacred. Allah has called the Kaaba sacred, you face the Kaaba. Allah, as long as He wished, He told the Muslims to face Masjid al-Aqsa, so that was sacred, that was the direction. The direction itself is not important, the command of Allah is important. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that is not virtue, that which way you face. The real virtue is that you spend, you bring faith, and then the articles of faith that bring faith on Allah, the Day of Judgment, the angels of Allah, the books of Allah, the prophets of Allah, and spend in the path of Allah over its love, with its love being there. So the meaning here is, Hazrat Umar has written that when it says At al mala ala hubbi, this means that they spend although they love their wealth. They really like the wealth, it is hard earned money for them, still they spend it. Similarly, another meaning is that they spend their wealth out of love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That they love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they want to become virtuous in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is why they spend in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the third thing is that they do it lovingly. Ata, this hubbihi can refer to mal, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also to the action of giving. That the action of giving, they do it lovingly. So for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although they love their wealth, they spend it lovingly in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, happily in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, above and beyond zakat over those who are in need, the relatives, their yatama or the orphans in the community, the needy people, the people who are traveling and are in need, وَالسَّائِلِينَ وَفِي الرِّقَابِ, those who ask and those who are slaves, in freeing the slaves. All of these are venues of spending above and beyond zakat as well. So nobody should have this confusion that only zakat is something that we have to give and then we are free, we are done. No, spending has to be there, and it is something that one should keep on giving, as we were saying last time as well. And there's a hadith coming. عن أبي موسى الأشعري قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم على كل مسلم صدقة. And this hadith makes it further clarifies it. قالوا فإن لم يجد قال فليعمل بيديه فينفع نفسه ويتصدق. قالوا فإن لم يستطع قال فيعين ذا الحاجة الملهوف. قال فإن لم يفعله قال فيأمر بالخير. قالوا فإن لم يفعل قال فيمسك عن الشر فإن له صدقة. हज़रत मूसा अशअरी रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु से रिवायत है कि रसूल अकरम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि हर मुसलमान पर सदका लाजिम है. लोगों ने अर्ज़ किया कि अगर किसी के पास सदका करने के लिए कुछ ना हो, कुछ पाए ना अपने पास हो तो क्या करे? आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि अपने दस्तो बाजू से मेहनत करे और फिर कमाए और उससे ख़ुद भी फ़ायदा उठाए और सदका भी करे। अर्ज़ किया गया कि अगर वो ये ना कर सकता हो तो क्या करे? आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने फरमाया कि किसी परेशान हाल मोहताज का कोई काम करके उसकी मदद कर दे। अर्ज़ किया गया कि अगर वो ये भी ना कर सके तो क्या करे? तो फरमाया कि अपनी ज़बान ही से लोगों को भली बात का हुक्म दे। लोगों ने अर्ज़ किया कि अगर वो ये भी ना कर सके तो क्या करे? आप सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने इरशाद फरमाया कि कम अज़ कम अपने शर से लोगों को महफूज कर ले, ये भी एक तरह का सदका है। So in this hadith, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiyallahu anhu is narrating that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that sadaqah has to be given by every single Muslim. So the Sahaba asked that, Ya Rasulullah, what if somebody does not have that kind of wealth that they can give to someone? The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that then they should work hard and earn and then use that money for their own selves as well as give it in sadaqah. So this clarifies that even a poor person, they should also not deprive themselves of this virtuous act of giving in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they don't have anything, then they should earn with this intention that I will use this money on my own self as well and also give it in charity and sadaqah. The Sahaba asked that, Ya Rasulullah, if somebody is not able to do that, then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, then they should help people with their body. What is the meaning of that? That somebody is in need, somebody needs something done, then go help them. You can't help them with money, then help them by providing them a service basically. And the Prophet ﷺ was asked, Ya Rasulullah, if somebody is not able to even do that, the Prophet ﷺ said, then use your tongue to enjoin people, encourage people to do good, tell them good things. Then somebody said that, Ya Rasulullah, if that person is not even able to do that. So imagine that if a person is, there's so many levels of this. Somebody has wealth, they share their wealth, they give it to the needy people. Somebody does not have wealth, then they try to earn and then spend it. If they can't do that, then help the people with their hand, with their bodily capacities. Can't even do that, then at least say something good. But if somebody does not have anything good to say, then at least the last stage is that at least protect others from your evil, your harms. And this is something that we should, some people, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, we don't realize it, but with the things that we do and the things that we say, we are constantly shooting arrows towards people. Whatever comes out of our tongue, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us, it is, we always say something hurtful very easily, or do some ghibat, backbiting, talking back behind the person's back, not in a nice manner. So at least this is also sadaqah, that we should protect our people from our harm. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us among those. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us those who spread goodness and close all sorts of evil. Protect people from our evil. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. So therefore, in whatever way possible, one should try to help others. This is what a Muslim should be like. One more hadith inshallah and then we'll conclude. عن أبي هريرة قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الله تعالى أنفق يا ابن آدم أنفق عليك. هذا अबू हुरैरा रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु से रिवायत है कि रसूल अकरम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने इरशाद फरमाया कि अल्लाह ताला फरमाते हैं कि ए आदम के बेटे, खर्च कर, मैं अपने ख़ज़ाने से तुझ पर खर्च करता रहूँगा. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu has narrated that this is an open message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that O son of Adam, spend, I'll spend on you. So become that person whose hands are openly giving to people. As long as, and we talked about this last time, that those people who become part of that system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah has taken the responsibility of fulfilling the needs of every one of His creations on Himself. It is our honor that we become a part of that system through which Allah is fulfilling the needs of people. So somebody who becomes a part of that system, then Allah gives them first, that they get it and they keep on spending, they keep on getting, they keep on spending. But when we hold back, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also holds from us. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, very famous Sahabi of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, There is a certain time in Islamic history when the noble wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, Tahira Mutahhara, may me and my parents be sacrificed on her name. She is the mother of all believers. All the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are the mothers of all believers. Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, it so happened that people accused her, malicious people, those people who wanted to create fitna. They, at one point, she was left behind because she had lost something and she was looking for it, and in that she was left behind, and then she was carried on her camel by someone else, and then she joined the Muslim army. Such a small thing. But the munafiqeen, they found an opening and they started accusing her of having done a bad deed in privacy. Na'udhu billah, hashahu wa kallah. Now imagine Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh is the father of this noble lady, and in his heart he knows that Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha could not have done it. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's dearest, closest wife, but the people are accusing her. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is in a lot of pain, in a lot of agony, and he distances himself from Sayyidah Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha for a certain time, until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes the issue clear. And in Surah Nur, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did finally make it clear, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down not one, not two, 10 ayat, one full ruku in her, explaining her innocence and reprimanding the Muslims that why did they even think such a thing about her? Why did they even let such a rumor spread? Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, imagine if his daughter is being accused of something, how much pain he would have, how much pain he would have. One of the people who was very active in spreading this rumor was actually taken care of this Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, taken care by Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh was such that he used to take care, so many people were dependent on him. He used to take care of their needs, their household needs and everything for so many people. One of those people who was actually dependent on the father of this lady, he was active in spreading this rumor here and there. So Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, in that moment, in his passion, he said that from now on, I will stop taking care of the needs of this such and such person. I give it to him, I take care of his needs, and he was very active in spreading this rumor about my very daughter, radiallahu anha. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in that ruku, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent some more ayat, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prohibited Sayyidina Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh from holding back from that person. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more or less meaning of the ayat is that those people whom Allah has graced, Allah has given grace with His own grace. Imagine the status of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh, that Allah is calling him Ulul Fadl, the person of grace in the Quran. They should not start holding back in spending in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So whoever they used to take care of, they should keep on doing so. And Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anh very happily resumed, took his word back that I will not. So on the word of Allah, he's continuing that charity even to that person who had hurt him so badly. Charity is something that we should make ourselves such. Our elders, they were like that in their community, very secretly, they will take care of certain people. May Allah protect us. In our generation, I see that this has decreased a lot. That we are basically worried about only our needs. Exceptions must be there, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we are very secretly, very quietly doing that. But make yourself such a person who takes care, keeps on working and fulfilling the needs of people. We will keep on definitely getting from the treasures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll conclude here inshallah. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ لا إله إلا الله الحليم الكريم سبحان الله رب العرش العظيم والحمد لله رب العالمين نسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل إثم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا حاجة هي لك رضا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين يا رب العالمين. Ya Allah, please forgive our major and minor sins. Ya Allah, make us your accepted slaves. Ya Allah, the clear deen that the Prophet ﷺ has brought to us and shown to us. Ya Allah, make us those whose hearts are, Ya Allah, connected with that deen. And Ya Allah, automatically make our nature such that we like that deen and we follow it with ease and without a lot of burden. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, make your obedience easy for us. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, make disobedience hard and difficult for us. And Ya Allah, make us those, Ya Allah, who live this life happily and on your deen. And when they meet you finally, you are happy to meet them and they are happy to meet you. Ya Allah, make us those honorable people. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, grant us the love of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Ya Allah, make us those who are, Ya Allah, constantly worried about following the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, constantly concerned about following the sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in every matter. Ya Allah, make us those, Ya Allah, who dearly, Ya Allah, very closely imitate the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, do as he did and stay away from things that he asked us to stay away from. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, please accept our gathering here. Ya Allah, please accept our reading these hadiths. Ya Allah, whatever shortcoming might be there, Ya Allah, you please, Ya Allah, forgive us. And Ya Allah, protect us. Ya Allah, protect all of us from the evil of what was said and heard. And Ya Allah, give us the goodness of what was said and heard. Ameen Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, make us those who protect others from our evil. And Ya Allah, you protect others from our evil. And Ya Allah, make us those who are forever giving, Ya Allah, in one way or another in your path, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, for your pleasure, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, make us among those honorable people. Ya Allah, whatever we could ask, please grant us that. Whatever we did not ask and we should have asked, Ya Allah, please also grant us that. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم إنا نسألك من خير ما سألك منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من شر ما استعاذ منه عبدك ونبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. أنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.